Alright, and we should be live. Good. So, in today's live stream, we're going to be hopefully, wrapping up the Battleship app. I don't think it's going to be finished tonight, but hopefully this week, God willing. Because I'm kind of getting sick of working on it. I'm not going to lie. But that's just part of the process, right? So. Anyway, the goal with today's live stream, I'm thinking, is to have the ships able to be moved around and rotated before the game starts, right? So let me just set up the compiler. Okay. Get the timer started. So yeah, we're gonna have a randomize button. And then maybe we should add like board labels or something like that. So that like the player knows that this is their board and this is the opponent's board, right? So I think we'll start with adding those labels and a randomize button. And then we'll go from there, adding the movement logic. So, as I said before, the game has 3 states. It has a setup phase, which is what we're in right now. It has a playing phase, and then an end phase when the game's over. I also don't think we have... we don't have an end check. Like an end game check. So we need to add that as well. So we can add that logic. Okay, so we need to refactor this find attack method as well at some point. But I'll refactor the randomize, or not the randomize. I'll add a button for randomized ship positions. So what we'll do is we'll do a or we should also have, I guess, a label on top of the boards, or maybe underneath them. So that would be in the game board, I think. So in a init display, let's just because we have where is the game? Gotta get my stuff sorted here. We have game state, or not game state, player ID, right? So what we'll do is we'll say const game board label equals this dot ID is player ID dot human your board, otherwise computer's board, right? And then we'll say const game board label div equals document dot create elements. There. Okay, so now we have, but it's within the game board itself. Okay. we want to fix that. Maybe let's append it to not the game board div, game div. Ah, yeah, okay. We need to figure out how to add these to. I could also just do it like this. I can do I don't really want to have two divs, right? That'd be too convoluted. I just have to think about how I want to do this. Unless we have a grid. Unless we make the game a grid, we could do that. We could make it a grid. And then we can do... Okay. So that's better, and then we can make the grid grid template. I want to flip that around though. We could do grid row start at 1, maybe? There we go. That's what we want. Okay. And then we obviously want the... We don't want the height of the... Because we want the widths to be the same, so that's the columns. And then the rows can be different. So we'll have the top row be like 8FR and then 1FR or something. Probably doesn't really do much, does it? Oh, but there's like a big gap, I see. Interesting. Yo, hello Abdu, how's it going? Why is there a big gap? Oh, because of this. That's why. Okay, so obviously we want a gap row, or row gap. That's fine. And then column gap of like... Yo, Jay, how's it going? Just doing a bit of housekeeping before we get started on the real gritty, nitty-gritty stuff. I'm just adding some labels to the boards. It's going? Nice. I hope you had a nice, relaxing Sunday. Mine was nice. Back on the grind. Okay, so that looks fine as well. I might also do something with the settings. Display. Oh, maybe is it because the button is... Oh, because the turn's its own div. Interesting. What if I put the turn inside of the settings? Let's see. No, it's not really. I call this like options or something. There we go. It was decent at crap ton of homework. Oh dang. Yeah, I know the feeling. It's around final season, isn't it? Like, sort of. I know in Canada, like, with my university, like finals is around beginning of April, beginning to middle of April. At least for university. In high school, the finals are at the end of June, but university, it's beginning of April, beginning or middle of April. Okay, so that's good. So now there's a bit of gap there. Nice. Okay. So now we have these labels. We can also center those as well. Game board. Align self, center. Not align self, sorry. Align, justify self. There we go. Hello, Ignifer. In a month here, there? Probably the first week of May, nice. That's not too bad. So you have some time to prep then. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like finals, I think, yeah, they start right after Easter here, this year. And then they go until like April 20th, 21st, something like that. Okay. So there we go. So that looks nice. What was the next thing we were going to do? I think I'm also going to, after this project, have a better, like I know we added this notes system, which is good. But I'm gonna start integrating like more project planning, like whether it's through Obsidian or Notion. I don't know. I don't like Notion though. It's too busy. It's too feature packed. I don't need all that stuff. But I want to start doing like project planning more properly. You only have one class that you use Lockdown Browser for? Oh, do you use Respondus? Respondus Lockdown Browser? Because we use that. I don't know if that's used outside of Canada or what, but that was like terrible when I was over COVID, when I was finishing my biology degree. That was not nice. Actually, I might do this commit here just quickly. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, it's not nice. It's honestly like spyware, in my opinion. Okay, right, we were gonna add a randomize button. Okay. We can add that in the options down here. I'm actually gonna rename the settings to options. That's gonna screw up the styling, but then we can rename it here as well. There we go. Have a button like there. We'll worry about the styling more later. And we do this in the game, maybe. In the initializer. Randomize board. I cannot type tonight. Linear is a good project management software, though. Oh, Linear. Oh, I thought you were when you said linear. I thought you meant that your class was linear algebra. That you had that you had to use the lockdown browser for. Sorry, I was confused. Linear. Let's see. Oh, this guy? Oh, cool. Yeah, I like this, actually. Okay. It's got a fresh UI, which I like. Simple. That's pretty cool. I'll take a look at it for sure. What would I add it to? Maybe just this. That makes sense. And coincidentally, that's cool. Oh, nice. Okay, then we need to add an event listener to this guy. To trigger randomization. And then we have to check that the game state is in setup. Then we do this dot human dot randomize ship locations. And the other thing we have to do is we have to, when we run the randomize ship locations code, we have to reset all of the X and Y's because we have to set them all to undefined because then they'll interfere with this randomization. Reset all ship locations before picking random. Randomize all or reset all ship locations. Let's do that. Got like 2 loops here, but that's whatever. I don't care. Okay, so now if we press randomize board, nice. And we don't need to for the computer, obviously, because it's hidden. So now we can randomize the board configuration. That's easy. Now we have to do the real tricky part, which is clicking and dragging. So I'm thinking of having I guess I can pull up that freeform app because I had an idea for how to implement this. So I'll just go to like another section. The one gripe I have about this is you can't like in a lot of apps you can like press the middle click and then kind of drag around the view, but it doesn't seem to work. Like I have to either use the scroll wheel up and down to go vertically, or I hold shift and then scroll for horizontal, which I find kind of a bit annoying, but it's not a big deal. Okay, so then what I was thinking, first let's get, this isn't going to be like super proper necessarily. Spacebar click and drag? Oh, you're right. That's how it works. Okay. That's better. Why is it spacebar? Usually it's like control or something. I guess shift is select, right? Okay, spacebar. Okay, good to know, Jay. Thank you for that. I appreciate you letting me know. That's gonna be nice. Okay. So we have our game cell here. And currently the game cell has 2 properties. It has occupied by. Actually, I'll zoom in here a little. It should be. Let's go here. Yeah, it doesn't make. Oh, weird. Yeah, I haven't. Okay, I haven't used Figma that much. I'm not gonna lie. So we'll say occupied by is a ship or undefined, and then hit is Boolean, right? But then I'm thinking, so this is for our game cell. I think we should also have another property called is dragging or is moving to be a Boolean, which then is how we handle the drawing of the ships on the board, right? So essentially each game cell will have an event listener. Okay. So we'll say like if clicked and contains ship, right? Then we, you know, let me just bring this guy down here. Toggle is moving, right? So that's how I'm thinking of implementing this. So we have an event listener on each game cell, and then if it's, but the other tricky part though is we need to identify. Well, we can identify what ship it is because the occupied by attribute will contain the ship, right? And then we have to move the ship. And then and then we'll make like another thing over here. We'll say like is moving equals true. I don't like how that looks. Is there a way to resize this? Okay. And then we'll just describe the state. Oh. Okay, this spacebar drag thing is going to get a little bit tricky to get used to. That's okay. Draw ships as normal. Aqua color. Right. And then for when moving is true, then this is where the actual complex behavior comes in. So we say ship follows mouse pointer in board. In player board, in human board, right? And snaps, or but snaps to game board grid, right? So I think that kind of makes sense, all right? And then we also want to have another condition, so we can say if spacebar pressed, then we toggle the ship orientation, right? That's how we'll handle rotating, I think. Right? Again, this isn't meant to be like necessarily a sequence diagram. I'm just kind of using this to lay out my thoughts. But I mean, I don't know. And then we have to conditionally draw, right? That's the other piece that we have to consider. So the other thing that we have to do is check the position. Current position is valid, right? And then if it's true, draw ship as normal green color, right? I don't know why I'm saying as normal. Just say draw ship as. Just to denote like the state. And we can obviously change the styling after, right? It's not a big deal. This is just for our initial implementations. But I'm thinking that's kind of how this is going to work. You also have to set potential targets as well. What do you mean by targets? And then we can only, the other thing is too, is we only allow placement. We only allow placement, obviously, if the current position is valid, right? So I'm going to add a label to this. False. True. And I'll just finish this off. Allow placement if clicked. Disallow placement if clicked, and stay in is moving state, or keep is moving as true. Right? Something like that. Oh no, I'm not using the on drag. No, so what I'm doing is I'm working with the board completely, Jay, so that we don't get state confused, right? Because, well, not state confused, but it would get messy. I'm trying to keep state as restricted as possible. So, like, we're only using the game board to draw everything. I'm not going to... I ditched that whole ship dragging BS. But basically, you're going to, like, click, like... up, down, and then click it, and then that'll toggle the is moving, and then if you're in an is moving state, then it'll be following your mouse pointer, and then when you click again, it'll either place or it won't allow you to place the ship. And then we also have to handle, there's a couple edge cases, like we have to handle, yeah, I think it'll be better this way, exactly. The other thing we need to handle is if the mouse pointer leaves the game board, but then I think we just leave the ship where it is. Right? Like, we stay in the is moving state, but then, like, if the ship... Like, so let me go back to the example. Let me go back to my Battleship. This is the problem with opening windows. Okay. If I drag my mouse pointer, like, too far this way, then the ship will just stay locked where it is, right? Yeah. So, that's kind of what I'm thinking. And then you just start with a randomized location. So like if I wanted to move this ship, then I can click it, move it, and then click again to place. Yeah, bounds, exactly. Like I want to keep, like obviously you're not going to be able to drag the ship out of bounds, out of this board, right? So like to move this ship, I can click it, and then I set its moving state true, and then it'll follow my mouse pointer, and then if it's in a valid spot and I click again, it'll place. Otherwise, if I click like over top of another ship, then it won't actually place, and then you stay in the is moving state. That's kind of what I was trying to draft out, I guess, on that brainstorming thing, freeform. Okay, I'm also gonna crack my window open because it's warm, like really warm in my room. The sun was shining inside all day. And the original location has to be set as valid as well. Yeah. I think it always will be. Oh, you're right. Yeah. Like, we have to somehow... I think what we can do... Actually, you know what we can do? We can add... You're right. That's a good point. Let me bring this guy back over here. This window manager is a little annoying. Okay. The other thing that we can do is, if we set it to true, we also have to, on the game board, set the is moving ships X and Y to undefined. But save where it was in case... Actually, we probably don't need to do that, do we? Because there's two options, actually, for when we... There's two ways of handling this, right? Because if we click... if clicked, like, we could set ifs moving to false and then put the ship back where it was before, right? Or we could just disallow placement. Because if we do it the way I just mentioned, then we would have to save where it was, right? But that's like kind of like, that's like a minor thing. I'll just keep it like this. I'll keep it the way I have it. I'll just also put this up this way. So I think that's fine. So this will make it so that the original location's valid because we set X and Y to undefined, right? But then what we also have to do is we have to use the is valid ship position. Actually, no. You know what? We don't do that. Because we would just use this every time the ship's moved, right? So I actually don't think this matters because this is valid ship position already ignores itself, right? So I don't think it matters. I think we can actually just... Every time the ship... Actually, I'm going to add that as a thing here. I need to add another arrow out of this box, I think. Or maybe like over here. I don't know how I want to do this. Look at past you, thinking about future. Yeah, exactly. I'm learning to become a better software developer. I hope that's the goal anyway, right? So I want to say that every time the ship or the mouse moves, mouse pointer moves to a different tile or cell, check for valid position and move ship there if it is, or something like this, right? And that's just like a addendum to... Can I actually change this? No, I can't. Okay, that's fine. It doesn't matter if it's a square or not. So that's fine. So I think that's how we want to handle this. The only issue is drawing the ship if it's actually no, it shouldn't be a big deal. Oh, because okay, so there's another hang up here. If the ship position's not valid, the ship doesn't actually move to that position, right? Because this function returns false, and the ship doesn't actually move because this is valid position method is within the game board, right? So if this is false, the game board itself isn't actually updated, I think, unless the updating of the board actually happens somewhere else. Maybe it does. Yeah, that might get confusing. Because the other option is to just, I don't know. Because then what if ships are overlapping and then it's going to cause weird shit to happen with the game cell? Because then the game cell, like you could have a game cell that's occupied by 2 ships at once, right? That's going to be tricky because the game cells are what makes up, like the game board is made up of game cell objects, right? In a 10 by 10 grid. So if the game cell is occupied by 2 ships at once, that's going to be a no-no. It would return false, but I'm talking more about the drawing necessarily, because I don't know how I would draw that. Maybe. Or you know what? I don't even need to modify because the color isn't related to the game cell. So you know what I can actually do? You know what? Let's start with one thing. Let's start with just drawing like whatever cell the cursor is hovered over. We'll just color that cell in like green or something, or some color. That's what we can start with, just to get the cursor grid snapping thing working. I think that's a good beginning step here, and then we'll start, you know, try and attack this piece by piece. So that logic would be in the game, I think, right? Although the event listener for mouse enter and mouse leave would be in the game, so that's the other thing. Yeah, because, okay, so if we want to track mouse position, we should ideally have like within the game cell, we should have a mouse enter and mouse leave event listener. I think that's probably the best way of handling it, right? Okay, so first let's add the property here. Right? So that's fine. And then we'll add getters and setters. Although, do I need... Yeah, I'll add getters and setters for it. Mouse enter would cause a lot of triggers, but I guess would be the best way for this case. Yeah, it would cause a lot of triggers, but I'm not too worried about performance, Jay, because it's such a small grid. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. Like, in this instance, I don't think it's going to be a big problem. So... yeah, so let's do that. And then so in the game board, let's just go back to the game board. In the draw display. Yeah, we checked for the cell. So the cell has its properties, right? And then basically what we're going to do is, if is moving for a cell is true, then we draw it, we add a class to it called like moving or something. Hi, Caro. So I think that's how we're going to do this. So we'll say if this board ij dot is moving cell dot class list dot add moving. Right? Okay, and then obviously they're all false. So just as a test, we'll add... Although it doesn't really make sense for the is moving to be true for the individual cells. That's kind of a weird naming thing. Bro's cooking? I don't know. Am I cooking? This property name, now that I think about it, doesn't actually make sense because the cells don't move themselves. So how can we rename this to be more reflective of what this, like, you know what I could do? I could have like an is fixed or something, right? Try to use AI. I'm not using AI for learning. I'm not against AI. I don't think it's a good way to actually learn how to code. Okay. I think is fixed is a better name. Cause like if it's not fixed, then it's in flux, right? It could change. Oh, you're joking? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think is fixed is better. Okay. Is fixed. Jeez. I could use. I know. I could use control. What every stream someone like asks if I should use AI? Is that what you're talking about? Or the control F stuff? I don't know. There's not that many to replace. It's like maybe an extra 5 seconds. Anyway, okay. Oh, the AI suggestion. Yeah, what the heck? Oh, the video ended. The video with the water ended. I was like, what the heck happened to the stream sound? Okay, we're good. It ended. It just stopped. I was like, what the heck? I thought my like headphones died or something. Okay. No, we're good. Yeah, the silence was loud. I was like, what? No, because the video is only 4 hours long, so I guess I forgot to start it from the beginning from the last stream. So YouTube remembered that I was like 3 hours in, or whatever it was. Okay, so that's fine. So we have is fixed now. And then we'll say, although we actually want is fixed to be true to start, do we not? Right, we want is fixed to be true. So I actually should update the... I'll update it after. It's not a big deal. I'm going to explicitly check for false just in case... Because this could return a falsy value if it's undefined for some reason, so... Okay, so... Unfixed? I don't know. Or I could just do like... I could just name the property as not fixed. But that's just asking for trouble. Okay, that's fine. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll change our, where's our game board cell dot hit dot ship dot hit, and then I'll do ship hit or ship not fixed or something. Dot game board. Actually, I probably want to put this up higher up. Game board cell dot not fixed. I think that's what I called it, right? And I want to remove it if it's not. Okay. And then we'll just do background color green, I guess, or like lime, maybe. Lime green. Sure. That's a little better. Obviously nothing yet because we didn't add the mouse enter, mouse leave event listeners. So we can do that now. This is going to be easy. We'll say this dot array actually. We need to add it to the divs themselves, which would be done in the init display, right? So it'd be right here. That's where we would add them. So we'll say cell.add event listener mouse enter. Cell dot is fixed. Wait, no. It'd be cell dot. Hold on, because this is the div, right? This is the div. And then I need to actually update. So okay, so this is confusing. We've got the div, which is on the DOM, and then we have the object, right? So the property is on the object, but here we've got the div, but we need the event listener on the div. So that's not confusing. Oh, you know what I can actually do? I can say this dot game board, or this dot board ij dot is fixed is false. Right? Although this isn't going to work completely because of how we're going to implement the ship movement after. And this only happens on the update display. So every time we actually update this, we're going to need to update the display. Now that I think about it. I think just update display works, right? Because update board, yeah, that's fine. So that's going to be kind of a hassle. We'll figure out a better way of doing this right after, but I just want to get this working. Okay, whoa. Oh, I know why. It's because the X and the Y are inverted. I forgot about that. Because of the loop. I'll just fix that. But I did a hotfix here, so I need to actually. The way I'm handling the X and the Y is inconsistent. Actually no, I can just keep it the way it is and then just do this. There, now that'll fix it. Okay, cool. It's because the draw order is different from the. Because the way it's being drawn in the DOM is left to right and then top to bottom. However, the way it's being drawn in the code is top to bottom, left to right, like this. So the J and the I just need to swap the J and the I. That's confusing, but whatever. It works. So now we just need to get the ship to like follow the mouse pointer, right? So that's the law. So this is fine, right? This is the fun part. Yeah, exactly. I want to make this code like not just in this init display function. Like I want to make these like outside somewhere. I don't know. But I think I'll get it working first, and then I'll refactor after. Because I can just refactor this to an external function, or not even an external function, just like a private method or something, right? I can do that after. Okay, so let's actually before I do that, I need to close the window because that's really cool. Because it's still cold. too cold. Okay. Still like 0 degrees, but it was like 25 degrees in my room, so. Okay. Alright. Whoops. That's not right. Okay. Does JavaScript react to user input like you hovering over the fields asynchronously? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if event listeners are asynchronous. I would assume innovation. I would assume so. That's a good question. This is a 13 years old query, but browser events are asynchronous in the same way an HTTP request is. In fact, the user is just as any other external resource. Yeah, exactly. You're looking for some learners like you to help each other? Well, Mohammed, you've come to the right place, my friend. You can follow along with me. I'll help out. And we also have a Discord that you can check out with almost 90 people in it where you can talk about web development, share your learning journey, share projects you're working on, stuff like that. So feel free to join if you're inclined. And yeah, we've got a bunch of people in the community that would love to talk to you and help out. Okay. So that's good. So now I'm procrastinating on the hard part, which is, so we need a method to, obviously when we click the ship, we need to set all of the ship's, cells to be moving, right? You don't like Discord? Well, then you don't have to join. It's totally up to you. I don't have any other spot, though, other than this YouTube channel. Okay, so but it has to work if I click on any of these cells, right? So we also have to add another event, too. We have to add a mouse clicked event. Right? I'm just gonna, again, I'm gonna do it all in this init display for now, but then I'll refactor it after. So I'll do cell.add event listener, click, and then, so we have to like somehow, I'll like get rid of this. For now. But I'll keep it there just because we're going to need it eventually. I know commenting out code is bad practice, yada yada, but for right now it's fine. So we need to check first if the current grid cell, which would actually be JI again because it's inverse because of reasons that I mentioned earlier. If this dot board ij dot occupied by is not equal to undefined, so if it contains a ship, or I could even just do this, instance of, or wait, is equal to instance of, is it instance of ship? I can actually do it like this. Ship. Is that how this works? Check if something is instance of TypeScript. So it's just this. Okay. Don't need the equals. Okay. Cool, cool. Now, so if it is a ship, otherwise we just return right? Because it's empty, so it doesn't matter. So now we're going to have to go through all the cells. But the tricky part is any of the... I could click on any of these cells, right? And then we have to find all of the cells of that shit. So what we could do is we could do like... this is going to be probably over... Actually, no, it isn't. Am I surprised by what I've learned so far, NPM? Oh, also, it's nice to see you again. Am I surprised? Nah, I don't know. I haven't really thought of it, to be honest with you. I'm thinking we could just do like a very, very rudimentary like flood fill to like, or something like that. Actually, no, we don't have to. Because there's going to be an offset. I'm thinking if I click on the ship, then maybe the XY of the top cell gets set to whatever the... Let's just start that. So let me think of this. We'll just say this dot board ji dot occupied by, or let's say let ship to move. Okay. Then we say ship to move dot x equals j, I think. Oh, I see. If ship to move dot x, then ship to move. Are you really gonna like? It's possibly undefined. Really? Oh, because ship to move is possibly undefined. I see. Okay. But we checked that it's explicitly that it's not undefined. You know what we can actually do? Instead of instance of ship, we'll just say not equals undefined. There we go. Okay, I'll actually be strict on the breaks here. I think so. I think so, innovation. I think that makes sense. Thank you. I know, I'm sorry. That would make sense. Sounds good, Mohammed. I know Discord's not for everybody. I know that Discord, actually, speaking of which, there's some weird rumblings of people being upset with like age verification, which I don't know how much that actually, like what the status of that is, or like how much people actually care. I think people care quite a bit. Some people do. So if that's like becomes a problem for our community, like if people really don't like that, then like I'm open to moving our community somewhere else other than Discord eventually if it's a big issue. If it's not, though, I'll just leave it. But I mean, I think most people in my community are over 18, so I know not everybody is, but I guess even if you're over 18, people still have trouble with age verification. I don't know. Like, it's like an it's against the privacy ethics, their own privacy ethics or morals. I don't know. But yeah. I also might stream on Sunday this weekend because I'm going to be away for all of Easter weekend, and I kind of want to like catch up on streams. So I may or may not stream this Sunday as well as on Saturday, but we'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. I don't want to push it if I'm really burned out or whatever. But I'm thinking I'll be fine. Hopefully by then we're done with this project. My goal is to finish the Battleship next stream. I think by next stream we can get it done. And hopefully next stream mostly is just polish. So that's kind of what I'm planning. I deserve the break. Yeah, we'll see, Jay. We'll see. I just want to keep the momentum going. I don't know. But yeah, no, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of Easter weekend, like the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th, I'll be off completely because I'm going to be not where I live. I'm going to be out of town. So I won't even have my computer with me or anything. But don't worry, I'll make like 10,000 announcements beforehand, so that everyone knows. Oh, Scrimba, yeah, I've checked out Scrimba, Mohammed. I have it saved here, but I haven't actually used it. Oh, it's your nephew's first birthday? Well, happy birthday to your nephew. That's awesome. But yeah, I've seen Scrimba before, but I don't know. I'm not too interested in paying money to learn right now because I feel like I can just learn with free stuff. Plus, like, I'm kind of trying to, I'm a little cheap. I'm not gonna lie. He's already hilarious. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm not quite at the age yet, unfortunately, where I get nieces and nephews, but hopefully in a couple of years. But yeah, I'm at the like age where like people start getting married. I think like a couple people I went to high school with are either engaged or have gotten married in the last year. Mind you, like they got married, I guess, kind of young. But yeah. Oh, that's fair, Jay. That's fair. But that's nice. I actually like kids. I wanted to be a teacher before I changed my mind, but I actually I'm good with kids. I was a camp counselor when I was younger, pre-pandemic. Do I speak French? Not really. I can understand a very small amount of French because I'm from Canada and we had to learn French until grade 9, but not really. Yeah, I do. I don't know. I'm a sucker for kids. I know that's, but do many Canadians speak French? Mostly in Quebec. Innovation. But it's like Quebecois French, right? Like it's not Parisian. What about Ukrainian? No, I don't. Unfortunately, I only speak English capacity. I speak a very small. Well, not. I wouldn't even say I speak French, but I understand a very small amount of French and Portuguese, because my family is Portuguese. So I know a little bit of French and Portuguese, but that's it. And English, obviously, even though English is debatable. Okay. But I'd love to learn another language like properly. Okay, so let me see. So we have the ship to move, and then we can actually like let's just set the X and Y. See, it's gonna not like it's gonna say it's possibly undefined. Type number is not assignable to type coordinate. Oh, as coordinate. Although I could probably just do that here. But I checked specifically if it's not undefined. That's annoying. Whatever. Or I could just do it like this. This is a better way of doing it. There we go. That's better. Hold on, let me, you can only speak French and English and your parents' language, Arabic? Nice. Do I know what I'm doing yet, Andre? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Do I know what I'm doing? I mean, I'm like, what do you mean if what I know what I'm doing? Like, in what context? Like, with this project or in general? Okay. So now, if I click on a, like, I don't know, does this, oh, and then it update the display. This board update, with this update board of what? Ships. Need the ships here. Although I don't have access to the ships. That's a little tricky. How's it going? Not too bad, blueberries. Oh, sorry, the title of the streams. Yes. Thank you, though, Andre. I appreciate that. Do I know what I'm doing yet, though? As far as the title of the streams, no, I don't. I honestly forgot what I titled the streams. I titled them 2 months ago, and all I do every stream is just increment the number. So I forget what the title even is. Yeah, it's until I know what I'm doing. Yeah, now I remember. Okay, so the problem here is, actually, you know what we want to do? First, before we set it, we need to actually check whether it's a valid position. But I need to get the list of ships, which is only in the player. Although I wonder if I can actually do this method in the player. Sorry, I'm kind of scrambling a little bit. Not really. I'm going to do this in the player because then I have access to the ship. I have access to the ships as well. And this would be in the init player ships, randomize ship locations. Maybe I just do it in the human player. Yeah, because this doesn't need event listeners, obviously. Okay. Although, does the game have... Okay, no. Okay, this is where they're going to start to differ. I'm going to make this just in the human player. Because obviously we only want event listeners for the game board if... if it's human player. Okay, I'll just leave that there for now. Okay. So we'll say init game cell listeners or something. Events. No. I don't know what I should call the function. Let's call it that for now. Initialize ship movement events. So I'll say, actually I'll just copy this. Okay. And then we're gonna say we gotta get our cell. I swear I have selectors for that somewhere. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Whoops. There we go. Okay, now we've got access to the cell instance. And then we want to also do this stuff and ship movements in the constructor. Okay, so we have the cells, but now we have access to, because this is a player, we have access to the player ships and the cells. Okay, so that's good. So we need to do cell.add event listener click. And then we're going to say if this dot player board, actually we'll get the board as well. Board ji dot occupied by, then I think this is a better way of doing it. Look at the ship. You like this content? I appreciate that, Mohammed. Sorry, I'm not really thinking about it. Thinking and speaking at the same time is kind of tricky. But basically what I'm trying to do is we have two things. There's the cells as div elements, okay? So we have the... let me go to this. So these are our cells, right? They're divs, okay? So that's what this is. We're getting the cells as div elements here so that we can actually add an event listener to it. And then we're also using the game board object to get the actual state of the game board, which is in data. It's not actually a part of the DOM or anything like that. So that's what this is. So then we're getting basically the state of the, like, get state of the cell on game board. Could even call it like game cell or something. That might make it more obvious what it is. Okay. I can even call this DOM cell. That's kind of a... I'll do it like this instead. Okay. Cell div. Okay. Okay, so now game cell is either a ship or undefined, right? So if it's a ship, then it'll be aqua colored, and it'll have the ship. The cell div will have the ship class, right? We're actually checking the game cell. So the game cell, as we said before, has three properties. It's either it's occupied by a ship or not. It's either hit, true or false, or it's in a fixed position, true or false, right? So if so we'll say game cell contains a ship, okay? So then we'll check whether the say if board dot or no, this dot player board dot is valid ship position ship I don't think we actually need that. Oh no, it's game cell, sorry. This is the player as well. Okay. And then we move it. Let's just move it. So we'll say game cell dot x. Okay, you know what? Let's just call this ship. Just to make it more obvious what it is. Okay. I was gonna do game cell, but ship is better. Ship.x equals j. And then ship.y equals I. And these have to be flipped because of the way that the ships are being drawn. It's a little idiosyncrasy with my code, but that's fine. And then we move it, then we have to also update the board, right? So we have to do this dot player board dot update board with this dot player ships. Right. So now if we click a ship, okay, that's what we wanted, because basically what we're going to do is when we start moving a ship, we're going to snap the head of the ship, which is always the topmost or the leftmost cell to the cursor, if that makes sense. So now if I get a random position and I click here, if I click this cell, which is not, so the ship is on this tile, so 3,1, okay? If I click here, the ship's going to move down by 1, or it should. Why is it not? Dang it. Okay, maybe it doesn't work completely. Oh, man, I thought I had something. It worked, kind of. Oh, it's moving the wrong ship. Okay, so we're targeting the wrong cell or something. There's something wrong with the draw order, so maybe you have to do it this way. Nope, that did not work. Okay, so something weird's happening here. Maybe we'll flip these around. I don't know. Interesting. It did work the first time, Jay. It did. That's why I'm confused too. The other problem though is if we click, oh, if we click a size 1 ship, it's not going to do anything. Okay, that's what we want. Yeah, it's moving the wrong ship. It's moving the wrong ship, which tells me that it's selecting the wrong. Because I'm just trying to move it to start, right? And then once I move it, then we can work with it following the cursor, right? I was also I think we should also have a property within the ship object itself that checks that tracks is movement or not, I think. Maybe. Might be excessive or not well thought out, but it would literally print the coordinates of each cell. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I think I'm actually going to do this quickly, though. I'm going to add another property to the ship object that tells us if it's moving. It is false, right? And then we'll do a getter and a setter for these. Get is moving. I think that's fine. What am I trying to fix? I'm trying to get the ships to be able to move blueberries. So essentially, the idea is that when we click a ship, it'll set its own state to moving, and then it'll follow our mouse position. And then if we click in another cell and it's a valid spot, then it'll move the ship over there. That's kind of what I'm trying to implement right now. But the specific issue is just a stepping stone. So essentially what I'm trying to do is if we click anywhere on a ship, right, we should move its head, which is always the top left or the top or the leftmost tile to that position, right? A location object on the ship that stores SY and is moving. That's a good idea. I might add that. Maybe I could add like a comment or something. Wait, what are the comment types for this again? Where is it? To do tree. Not the tree. Where's the to do? To do. Is there a different, let's see. Alerts, queries, to-dos. Okay, I'll do a question mark. That's a good idea. Maybe refactor X, Y is moving to a location class. Yeah. Does it need to shallow under the cursor to just snap to the new position really quick? No, it's just gonna snap to the new position, blueberries, at least for now. So so for example, if I click this cell right here, F5, the head of the ship, which is up here, should move down to that position. So this the effect would be this length 3 ship would move down 1. Okay, so that's fine. So I added this comment here. Okay. Yeah, better comments. I forgot the name of it. I think the question mark is most fitting. We'll just leave that. Okay. Okay, let's print it. I'll just I'll do like I, comma J, then ship.x, ship.y, something. Oh yeah, there will be cell highlighting. Exactly. It's just that I'm just trying to get this, for right now, this one thing working. Yo, Smile, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Okay, so then we'll go to the console. And so if we click, let's find it. So this, okay, let's get a better configuration. Okay, so if I click here, it should move down one. So I1, J1. Okay, maybe that's a bad example. Like even here. I guess that was not going to be a valid position. Did I go to school for anything CS? Yeah, I have a CS degree, Blueberries. Although it was mostly math-based. So I3, J8, ship X8. Ah. No, but that's fine, because we set the J... So I3, J8. I3... Oh, so the X shouldn't be 8. It should be 3, you know? Yeah, that's why. They should be flipped. Maybe. You're in your third year of CS. Nice. Blueberries. But yeah, I found that my CS degree, like, didn't really teach me, like, any sort of project building skills or industry relevant skills, which is why I'm doing this right now. That's why I'm doing this whole YouTube thing. Okay, I'm also going to remove these found conflict comments. I forgot where I put those. Was that in the player? I think it was in the player. No, it wasn't. It was in the game board. Just going to remove that. Okay, that's better. I0, J0. Yeah, okay, so I need to flip those. Which I did. I6. Oh, that worked. What the fuck? Did that not just work? Oh. I0, J9. Ship X. Oh yeah, there's some weird shit happening here, guys. It's moving the wrong ship. Maybe because this? Oh, that might have been it. Oh, but it's not... Okay, we kind of got it, sort of. Although it's not checking the boundaries. Okay, it kind of works. It's sort of. It's not checking the borders though, because I don't want ships to be directly adjacent, obviously, which is interesting. You get looks like you have to match the orientation. But it should just inherit the orient. Like, so for example, if I put... Hold on, I'll get back to the other comments. Like, if I go to the... valid position, it uses... It uses the ship's orientation if I don't give an explicit value. Or flip it. I don't know. I'll mull it over. All your web dev knowledge and even knowledge related to version control and all that self-taught. Yeah, exactly. Blueberries. Like um, the courses that I took that used Git, they didn't teach us Git. They just expected us to like know it or like teach ourselves, which is stupid. If that's expected behavior, I thought they would all flip to vertical one click. Oh, eventually, Jay. Maybe. Actually, no. What did we do? So, okay. Let me backstep. If we have a ship and it's in its moving state and it's following our mouse pointer, right? And then I hit spacebar or something, I was going to flip it then. Yeah, exactly, Blueberries. It's so alienating, I find. At least for me, like I find it's just like like it's not how it's not a very it's one of the least inspiring ways to teach CS is to just kind of like gloss over the actually important shit and then talk about math or like discrete math or whatever like for the entire course. Like it's like fine, that stuff's important for problem solving and yada yada, but like and like understanding maybe how these systems work at a deeper level, but it's not like I don't know, it's not the best. Yeah, sorry Jay, it's a little bit my implementation's kind of convoluted, but it works sort of. I don't know why though the buffer isn't being checked properly. Because this should fail, I think. Oh, you know what I actually need to do? Oh, I know why this is. I know why. It's because we're checking the ship before it moved. That's why. That's why this is happening. So we need to do some bullshit. Like we need to do const old position equals like ship.x ship.y, and then we need to do ship.x equals I ship.y equals j, and then we need to say this otherwise ship.x equals old position 0 ship.y old position 1. There we go. That's why. It's because we were checking the old position of the ship and then moving it to a new position. We weren't checking the ship against a new position because when you check is valid ship position, it expects that the ship is already moved based on my implementation. That's why. A lot of mathy computational stuff, however. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's CS in school is all theory and very little application. 100%. Why don't I ask ChatGPT? Because I'm not interested. Yassine. I'm not interested in using AI to learn. I'm not anti-AI fully, but I'm not interested in using it to learn. But yeah. I should theoretically refactor this to include like a new X and a new Y or something like that. But yo, how's it going, Sarper? Yeah, exactly, blueberries. I think I'll eventually implement AI into my workflow, like way down the road. But not right now, not for learning. Okay, so now this should theoretically work. So if I click here, doesn't move it, but this should move it. Oh no, yes. Okay, it does. Okay. Okay, that's good. Nice. Good. Thanks, Jay. I appreciate you answering. Okay, so now we can move the ships. So they snap to the position. That's what I wanted. Okay, so now it's working. I think I'm going to do... I'm just going to put a comment here. Eventually refactor to add new x, new y as params. Maybe, or something like this. Yeah, it's also more fun. That's the other thing too, is it's also more fun. It's more rewarding, I think. The other thing too is, like, I'm not trying to be the next, you know, Elon Musk or whatever, like Mark Zuckerberg, whatever big tech person. I don't care about making money, really. I'm doing this just because I want to learn how to do it. But, I mean, also for my own professional development too, but if all I cared about was money, I would probably do vibe coding or something. Base trad coder? Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. It's because I'm actually, like, interested in the code and want to learn, right? Vibe coded a bash script for Linux and kernel prompting. It's just the most salsa. Yeah, exactly. Like, again, if all I cared about was money, like, maybe I would be a vibe coder, maybe. But I don't. I have a passion for the craft of software development and learning that, right? That's why I'm doing this. Okay, so we got that step done. So now the other thing is we need to have we need to actually move the ship around, right? So that's going to be the hard part, because we're going to need to include event listeners for all of the... Okay, so this is fine. How long have I been learning TypeScript? I'm assuming that's what you're asking. Like a little under 2 months, Yassine. Right. Yeah, that is annoying. I don't know if it exists. I know it's super dangerous to let AI run the terminal commands for you. Okay, so you know what I think we need here? I think we need... Actually, this is probably unnecessary. This is how I'm thinking of doing this. Well, 46 days total, but I've been learning TypeScript for, like, less than that, probably. Oh no. Yeah, see? Dude, I'll just use just. Is that a thing? Is that a thing, Joseph? Yeah, exactly, Sarper. That's my logic entirely, or my belief. It's a script command runner. Nice, that's cool. Okay, so then this is what we're gonna want to do. So we're gonna move the ship. So all this code's fine, and then we're gonna want to set this dot ship moving equals ship, because we want to store the ship being moved, right? Or remember. So that we can target it for the mouse enter, mouse leave. Events. And then what else do we need? Oh, we need to set ship dot is moving, of course. I feel like we have state in too many places. Okay. This subboard is fixed. Let's update display, update board. Okay, so you know what I'm gonna do? Okay. Yeah, because I don't think it makes sense to put it here. Well, no, that actually is fine. We'll leave it there. No, so actually, I don't need this part. I thought I was still setting it in the update display, but I'm not. Okay. So that's fine. Literally checking it out now. Nice. Nice. Okay, so this is our clicked event. And then we need cell div dot add event listener for mouse enter. Right. And we may only need it for mouse enter. We may not need it for mouse leave, now that I think about it. Because what we can do here is we can say yes, we update the board. This board ij dot is fixed is true. And then we say this dot board That's a little confusing, but that works. W Mac user? Thank you. I appreciate that. How many hours do I invest in learning TypeScript in a day? Depends on the day. Yeah. I stream for about 2 to 2.5 hours. Yeah, so like 2.5 hours a day. Yes, Ian, except for the days I don't stream, but I also work 8 hours a day. In a day in IT in a day job. You did Odin Project Foundations Part 3 years ago. Should you do it again or skip to that part and move to JS segment? I would say, Sarper, move on to the JS, and if you feel like it's too advanced, then go back and uh, the foundations course to maybe refresh your knowledge. Yeah, this is layered on top of a 40-hour-a-week job, yeah. Which is why, like, I'm not going as fast as I could be. Like, there are some people out there streaming, like, learning web dev and stuff like that, but they may not be employed, like, full-time. So they have more time to dedicate to streaming, but I don't, unfortunately. So I'm 15 hours-ish a week is what I allocate, which is what's sustainable for my schedule. Because ultimately, like, I do this for you guys, but I'm also doing it for myself too, right? And I'm not gonna hyperextend myself for the internet, because I don't really owe anyone anything. I'm just doing this for me. And if you guys enjoy it, then that's great too. Yeah, I don't know. There's a couple blueberries, which actually inspired me to start. That's what inspired me to start, because I ultimately wanted to use it to hold myself accountable. Because I wasn't motivated just by myself. I wanted to, like, put it out there into the universe so that, you know, the internet could hold me accountable. And you guys have been doing a fantastic job, all of you. So, consider yourselves lucky or proud, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so where was I here? Okay, so that's fine. I don't need that anymore. Am I going to stop streaming when I finish the Odin Project or find a job? No, Sarper, I'm not going to stop streaming. I'm going to continue to stream. I'm going to probably use the streams to further my learning and build my own personal side projects. I don't plan on stopping streaming anytime soon in the future. I plan on doing this for as long as I want. And for right now, I don't see it ending. And I've been having a ton of fun over the last 2 months. I've met a lot of fantastic people. I mean, I've grown the channel to over 600 subscribers. Like, it's been a blast, honestly. So, no, I don't plan on stopping. Okay, so on mouse enter, what we need to do is we need to move the ship, right? So we need to get the this dot, we'll say if this dot ship moving, there currently is a ship being moved, else return. I feel like the else return is probably not even necessary, actually. Okay, and then we'll do this. We'll say the old position is this dot ship moving. Then this dot player board dot update board. Sorry, I'm a bit behind on chat. I apologize. No, that's cool. Is just specifically for... Oh, no, it's... okay, so it's not specifically for AI. It's just a command runner. So you can, like, almost run, like... But would bash scripts not just work for that? Like, could you not just write a bash script or, like, a Z shell script to, like, automate your commands. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm naive to it, but I would think you could just write a script and then just run the script. But I don't know. Does Bash work only on Linux, really? Interesting. Yeah, because Mac OS is Z Shell. I know that. Or Z Shell, if you're American. Oh, IJ. Yeah, Z Shell for the win. Exactly. Yeah, well, Mac is based on Unix. I don't know if... Is Mac based on Linux, though? But I moved fast. Yeah, well, I mean, I do have... I already do know how to code WPK. So, like, it was a little bit easier for me, maybe. Yeah, same blueberries. Like, I have... Okay, so let me... I have this MacBook. Yeah, same, Jay. I can't be bothered with all the options. But no, I have this MacBook for work, and then I have a gaming computer, which is Windows. But I'm thinking of switching out of Windows blueberries, because my gaming is on Windows, but it sucks. Well, Linux, from what I understand, is Mac and Linux are both based on Unix, right? Yeah, exactly. Basically what Joseph said already. Okay. So now this should, like, theoretically work. The only problem is we don't have logic to do refactor for starting is moving and stopping is moving. Or something like this, right? Oh, okay, this actually works, guys. The problem is I can't... Oh, yeah, see? Okay, this actually works. So now you can move the ship around. Although it doesn't show if it's on an invalid spot, right? That's the tricky part. Is it only shows the valid locations. But we can't actually stop it. But that actually works. I'm surprised that worked first try. But see how it follows our mouse cursor? That's exactly what we wanted, right? I just need to figure out how to draw it in invalid positions. That's the tricky part. But it, like, fundamentally does work. I just need to do logic for stopping moving. So I actually need to check that. So if ship is not undefined, then we need to check if it's moving or not, right? You have a MacBook Air and a gaming PC. You do very little programming in the Windows. Yeah, exactly. Blueberries. I only program on my Mac. Yeah, I would recommend you put them on GitHub, yeah. Thanks, Jay, for getting back to him. Your Mac doesn't natively support 2 external monitors, which is stupid. Oh, yeah, that's why I got the MacBook Pro. That's part of why I got the MacBook Pro Blueberries. I wanted that flexibility. Okay, so let me refactor this a little bit. Although maybe... let's see. The only problem is I want to set the ship is moving to be true regardless of whether it's a valid spot or not. Because if I did this, it's not going to work, but this would work. Right? Okay. Yeah. So I got to think about that. Just thinking about how to refactor this position. Okay, so we need a couple methods here. We need an update moving ship position. Add an X and a Y. Right. Update moving ship position, and then we'll just do this code inside of here. It's a problem. Then update this stuff. Actually, I want to make this private, probably. And then IJ. What's the problem here? Oh, because this XY. Not this is okay. So this is possibly undefined. I just assert that it's true. This is lazy, but I don't care because we know it's true because this function only gets called if it's not undefined. So it's fine. I'll just do that for now. So that's good. So now we've refactored that out. So then what we're going to do is we're going to... if ship is not undefined, then we want to set, actually first we want to set this dot. We want to do this first. Oh no, it is. No, we don't actually. I lied. Ship moving, or this dot ship. Ship moving. Just gonna finish this code here. This dot ship moving is ship. Ship dot is moving is true. This dot ship moving is undefined, and then ship dot is moving is false. And then this dot update moving ship position at IJ. And I think I can get rid of this because that's basically the same as this code. pretty much. So I think this is a little better. And then so now when we click, we should place the ship. Right? Oh, we don't change the color back. But it does work. Oh, because we need to update we'll just update the board again. Where do we update the board? Oh, I deleted that, didn't I? And in the update moving ship position... Oh, no, we do. We update the board here. Oh, but then I need to change the is fixed. Right, so then I'll update the board. Update the board in here. Nice. Okay, so now we can move the ships around. So we click, follows our mouse, and then if we click again, we place it. Okay, guys, that's pretty good. I don't know. I think we're cooking. The only thing is it doesn't show us if a position's invalid, right? That's like a minor thing. And we just need a tad functionality to rotate the ships now, right? But we got ship movement. Basically. I think that was... And now if I move the... Let's test. If I move it outside of the bounds of the board, it doesn't... Obviously, it doesn't follow it, right? Because it's an invalid position. So... Yeah, okay. Alright. Nice. I'm pleased with that. I think that's good. I think this is fine. And then we don't even need a mouse leave event, right? Because that's just how it works. So... Oh, yeah, exactly. The ship flipping, it's going to be really simple. I just add another event listener, but I add it for the document, I think, right? Because it doesn't, it's just global. I just check for the space key to be pressed. And then I just flip, or something like that. I don't know. I think that makes sense. Then, yeah, while is moving is true. Exactly, Jay. Exactly. Exactly. But I think the other thing that we want to do, right, is we want to obviously check that the game state is set up, right? So we actually need another Boolean value, like can move ships to true, because and then we control that from the game, because we only want to be able to move ships when we're in the setup phase. So that's another thing to consider. But that's very easy to do. That's not a difficult. Because I think right now what we have, I think we start the game. We can still move ships once our game started, which would be incredibly cheese. So obviously not, right? So the other thing that's tricky is drawing the ships when it's in an invalid location. That's the other thing that's going to be difficult to do because of the way I've set things up. Or I could just leave it out, honestly. It's not like a big deal. But with the way that I've set it up using the ship object, it would be a pain in the ass to draw the ship. Because then we would have to find its last valid location, and then we'd have to remember where that is, and then like it would mess things up kind of. I mean, I can implement it if you really want to, but I think I'm just gonna focus on getting the ship rotations working, and then obviously only allowing the player to move the ships during the setup phase. And then I think and then it's basically, the game is like effectively finished. It just needs polishing, right? Like UI polishing at that point. So but I guess I can work on, I don't know. I'm conflicted, I guess. Whether I work on drawing the ship at an invalid location or not. Like, so if I'm over here and I'm hovering over a ship, like whether I draw, I don't know. We shall see. Yeah, because I just don't know how much more energy I want to put into this project. I'm not gonna lie. That's like the only thing. Because I just feel like I can. I don't know. Because yeah, I could do it, but it would just be more state to keep track of. Okay, so I'll just do what I just suggested first, and then I'll work from there. What's the next project? Okay, so I'll actually take a slight detour. So I still need to finish these Git exercises, although I didn't really want to do them on stream because they're boring. And then after this, I'm done the JavaScript course. And then we move on to some advanced HTML and CSS concepts, which is going to be mostly studying. So there's going to be some like study streams, maybe. And then there's like a homepage project where I implement a homepage with HTML and CSS. I think it's just like, and based on like design files and stuff. So like for this person, what's her name? Ashley Williams. And then but I have to make it like mobile friendly, and then like, stuff like that. So that's the next project. That's going to be more front-end heavy, but that's okay. But I think I'm going to get, I don't know, I'm going to take notes for this section, I think, because I don't want the stream to be just reading. I want to, like, actually do interactive stuff. So I'm probably going to do some note-taking or something alongside these lessons, just to make them a little bit more engaging. And then after that, we get into React, which will be really fun. So it's going to be good times ahead. Okay. So let's get back to it. What we're going to do, oh yeah, we're going to make it so that we can only move the ships. Actually, I could probably make this public. Can move ships. Boolean. That's true. I'm just going to make this public. And then I want to say, like, here I'll just say if not can move ships, then return. Or something like that. Do an early return. Yeah, I don't know anything about React though, Blueberry, so that'll be fun to learn. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so then All right, and then now in the game, when we press the button, we'll set this dot human player dot can move ships as false. So if we move on from setup to playing, then we can't move the ships anymore, right? So let's test that. Okay, so we're in the setup phase. You can move the ships around. It's all well and good, right? And then if we press start game, then okay, but we still can't move the ships. Why is that happening? Oh, because the event listeners are still attached to them, right? That's not. This isn't going to cut it. This is not going to cut it. I need to actually put these in the event listeners. There. It's kind of messy, but okay. So we can move the ships. Start game. Okay, now we can't move the ships. See? If I click the ships, they don't move. Okay, good. Vue is your favorite framework? This feels more intuitive. Yeah, I've never heard of Vue before, actually. I've heard of React. I've heard of Svelte, because I had a friend that used it. I've heard of Angular, but that's older, I think. Oh, and the other thing, okay, so this randomized board, we don't want to be able to click that unless it's set up. I think I already have that set here, though. Yeah, I do. Okay. This dot randomize board button dot style. Okay, so this should work now. Okay, good. Good. You wish Vue kept up with the paces. You don't see anything hot with Vue like you did about 2 years ago. Yeah, I've heard about Svelte and React. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I'm kind of like planning on trying. Well, I'm going to start with React, but I'm going to use as many as I can eventually. Okay, so I think I can actually delete this code now. What was the better commands for deprecated? Oh, okay. Deprecated. Remove. Eventually. Because this was with our old dragging system that we were going to use, but... Oh, yeah, okay. Then we were going to do that. Oh yeah, we have to update all the test sets, right? Refactor, yeah. Move over to human player class. Okay, we already did that. So it's fine. And we just need to refactor. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, I need to implement the flipping, right? Okay, so we need to do the flipping. So I'll do key down. Then how do I check the, oh yeah, I need to get the E event. I actually don't know how to check for a keyboard press. Check for specific, or just do spacebar press. Yes. Oh, it's e.key. E.code. Is there a better way of doing this though? Because then this is running for each key press. Maybe there's no other way to do it. It'll give you a specific key code. Yeah. Okay. Oh, there's no better way to do it? Okay, nice. I'll just do it this way then. E dot code is not equal to space, then return. Otherwise, if this dot ship moving is not equal to undefined, then we do this dot ship moving dot flip. Right? I think that's fine. So now we should be able to flip the ship. Although that's a bad example because that should be working. Oh, but I need to actually update the board, right? Although does flipping the ship update the board? Yeah. Oh no, it doesn't actually. Ah, so I need to update the board as well. I need to update the board. There we go. No, still not working. Oh, maybe I need to check it if it's valid in its new position or something. Although I want to flip it regardless. Huh. I don't know. But the key code should be space. I'm just gonna rule that out. Right? Oh, shit. 800 times? Why is it running that many times? What the fuck? I think it's because it's running like 100 times, so it's just flipping back and forth. I think that's the problem. I don't know for sure. I think that might be part of the issue. I think it's flipping like 10,000 times. So I think maybe a better way of handling this would be doing it like this. Maybe. I'm just gonna see. Yeah, weird. Key press? Okay, sure. Let's try that. No, it's still the same. It's still going up like by 100 each time. Why? That's so weird. Okay, so it's obviously working. But, I don't... event.code, yeah, space. It's an even value. Yeah, it's exactly. I know that, Jay. That's what I'm saying. But I don't know how to get it to just run once. I wonder if there's like 100 codes or something and it's iterating through each one. You know what I mean? No, because if it's not running for each, we attach it to the document. Would it be worth attaching the key press event to the cell div? I don't know what difference that would make, because I know like the event bubbles up and then bubbles back down anyway, so I don't know like what the difference would be. I mean, we could try it, I guess. Oh, this is annoying. This cell div thing. Because it could be null. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. We just do if cell div continue. Get rid of these. Why this challenge? Because it's the assignment that I'm on in the Odin Project. KD. Exact value of 100 matches the amount of cells. Oh! You right. You make a good point. Good observation. Now it's not working at all. But that was when we attached it to the document. Okay, so is there a better way of flipping, I wonder? I mean, I could right-click. I could do right-click for flipping. And then just prevent the default behavior. Thank you, Katie. I could do right-click. What if we did that? Although I don't know how to change it to, or the letter F. Yeah. But it doesn't seem, even when I add the event listener to the cell div, it doesn't seem to work. Because this should rotate horizontally, in theory. Although, okay, so we update this, and we update the rotation. Yeah, so let's this dot ship moving dot orientation. Okay, so yeah, it's obviously a document. So this is gonna flip 100 times, I know. Yeah. It's just flipping 100 times. Okay, so it is actually flipping though, see? Because it's going 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. So it is actually flipping. But I need to figure out how to only run the flip when it's on the... Oh, because this is in a... It's because this is in a for loop. Maybe? I don't know. Yeah, so I need to do this. I need to bring this outside of the for loop. I didn't think of that. That's the problem. I need to put this here. That's it. That's the problem. It was in the for loop. Okay, okay, okay. So that should be fine now. It's still in the same method, but it's outside of the for loop. There we go. Now it works. That's what I thought. That's what I wanted it to do. Okay. Nice. Right? Oh, although we need to check that whether the position's valid before flipping it. Right? So we'll do that first. That's the one other thing. So we'll do that. We'll say if this dot or if board dot is valid ship true. What's the ship orientation? I see. Okay, so I need to check whether it's the const new orientation equals this dot. Oh yeah, then I need to encapsulate this. I think that's fine. I think that works. Getting into UX territory now? Yeah. Yeah, so now see now we can't flip it if it's invalid. That makes sense. I mean, obviously for UX we would want to show the invalid positions, right? But I mean, this does fully functionally work, right? So it does work. Now I'm just debating whether we figure out a way to show the invalid spots, because that's going to be tricky. Or the, no, that would be weird. I was thinking of having maybe some method where we, like we can, so it, I don't know, okay, follow my thought for a second. What if there was a way that we highlighted, so instead of showing, like when we hover over bad locations, it draws the ship on top. Instead of that, this is like iffy. What if we just highlighted all of the cells that this ship could occupy? I don't know. I don't know if I like that though. It's a workaround, right? I don't know. Okay, so I think I'm gonna leave it at that for now, and then I think I'm gonna do a little bit of maybe we can do that tomorrow. We can do that tomorrow. So I'll just add a to-do. Where would I put that though? Yeah, but that's not, that was intended behavior though, Jay. It's intended to have, like, if I go to the online version, in this version you can't place ships directly next to each other. That's intended. Oh no, no worries. That actually, I have a method for that checks adjacent cells. Like, where is it? This helper function actually checks for that one cell buffer around the ship. Should actually probably add an underscore just to be consistent with my private naming convention. Actually, maybe make this like a... No, it's no worries, Jay. But yeah, no, and here, see like how you can only drag it, like it can only be within one... I don't know. I mean, is it the best UX experience in the world? No, but it does work. Okay, so let's fix this current term. Let's just do a little bit of CSS before we go here. Let's just do the UI. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. Turn text, and then who's the options? I think it was game board label. Yeah. And then font size is like 1.5 rem. Font weight 600. Maybe make it like painfully obvious. And then font weight 600 as well. And then we can make the buttons look nicer. Yeah, exactly, Jay. All right, and then we can make the buttons look a little better. I'll just do a little bit of button configurations. So let's do this. I'll shift options buttons, and we'll just do. Gap. Do like a light. No, it's not too light. Padding. Oh, that's too big. Yeah, that's fine. Something like that. And then we'll just do a quick hover effect. We'll add light mode and dark mode as well, but I'll do that tomorrow. There we go. That looks good. I mean, it's better than what we had, right? So we can randomize the board, and then we can start the game. So let's finish off today's stream by playing a round of Battleship. So, okay. So we'll randomize our board. We'll move the ships around a little bit. Move this guy up here. Rotate it. Get rid of this too. Yeah, it's good. Guys, perseverance. This should rotate. Okay, so actually I'm going to have to make room for this. Rotate. There we go. That's the one thing, is rotating big ships is going to be, it's a little bit of a pain, but, you know. Okay. Let's go with this. And then we'll start the game. And then so I'll go here. Oh, okay, I hit. Computer. So a miss is gray and a hit is red. So, oh, I got another one. And the computer's not smart. We could make the computer have more comprehensive AI as well if we want to. Right now the computer just selects a random location. The other thing is there's no win check. Yeah, like, right? So there's no check for a win or a lose. Okay, so I'm like smoking this guy. See how it, like, I want the AI to be something like what a human would do, right? So we could think about that if that interests people. I'm crushing it. Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, I'm playing against a dummy. That's just choosing random spots, right? And the other thing is it wouldn't make sense, like, for me to put like, I know, for instance, like, this is kind of like getting into, it's almost like Minesweeper, but I would know for a fact that these two cells are going to be gray because nothing could be within a one, like, all of these cells here would be gray, right? Because they can't be within a one tile radius of this ship, right? Or all of these cells would be gray, so they're not even worth checking. Title is GG's, yeah. Exactly. Like, this one would be gray, I knew that, right? This one might be a ship, no. Let's see. So we'll know we've won once we sink 2 3-length ships, 3 2-length ships, and then 4 1-length ships. So this one could be, no. We'll see. Okay, so obviously when you're playing a random, okay, so there's one. We also need to make the, yeah, we'll make the AI better. So this could be here, there, I guess. I made a lucky guess. Okay. So I need 1 1-length ship and then 1 2-length ship left. Yeah, that has to be there. And then the 2-length one has to be up here somewhere, I think. Or they are here. Yeah, so that's game. That's game. Because there's 3 2-length ships, 2 3-length ships, 1 4-length ship, and then 4 1-length ships. So that's game. But I need to actually add win conditions. So that's the other thing that I'll make a note of before I go. Where is the game? Where would I actually have that? I'll put that like down here or something. Actually, no, I need to check that in each turn, so I'll put it up here. On each turn. Okay, so there we go. I think that's it. I don't know, and then we can add like dark mode and shit too. So we could say like add dark mode. I don't know. And we could also make the ships. We could also make the ships look better. Make ships and hits look. Oh, did my keyboard just die? No. Didn't die. I thought it died for a second. It disconnected. Dark mode is good to learn now. Yeah. I'll do that next stream. But I think it's literally just a matter of updating these variables. Oh, yeah, it's with media queries, Jay, but I did it in a previous project. I'm not too concerned about it being difficult. Like if I go to, let's go to the dashboard. Yeah, media queries, it's right at the end. Yeah, it's right here. So, yeah, I'm gonna warn you. So I think we can finish off. I think Jay, you would agree. We can finish off the Battleship app in the next stream. Finally, it's only taken a week, been a week and a half. That's okay. Finish it off next stream, and then we'll get into the advanced HTML CSS stuff, which will be more note taking. It'll be more chill streams, but I think I can finish off the advanced HTML CSS content. Like I think I can finish this content in 2 or 3 streams of study, maybe. Might be too optimistic. And then the homepage project will probably take us a couple streams as well. So I'm thinking the next week or so, after we finish the Battleship, will be advanced HTML CSS, and then I promise finally after Easter we'll get to React. So great things are coming in April, guys. And we're going to do a little bit of databases, which is easy because I already know SQL. And then Node.js. And then we're done, basically. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. The other thing I'm going to do before I forget is I'm going to commit. Actually, I'll bring up the editor. So we'll say feature ship movement on game setup state. Click ships to toggle movement. Ships follow mouse cursor position on board when moving. And then press space when moving ship to toggle rotation or orientation. Nice. They're building a React for databases. Is it going to be much different from what you're used to? Maybe. I mean, I use I write SQL queries for like MySQL databases that we use at work sometimes. Not often, because a couple of the data sets that I have to pull in some of our agency's databases are in MySQL databases. So I think it's just like basic SQL. I don't know. It might be slightly different. I don't know. Let me see. Let's look at what's going on here. What databases, what relational databases are. Yeah, see, I already know what relational databases and all this stuff. SQL. Yeah, this is going to be easy for me because I already know this stuff, mostly from work, actually. And, like, also just, like, I mean, maybe not, but, like, if you know Excel, too, it's kind of similar to Excel. I mean, it's not quite the same thing, of course, but Excel queries are not too dissimilar from SQL. They're different, don't get me wrong, but they're not completely different. So anyway, I'll push to my GitHub. So I think that's it. I don't know. The SDK or ORM. What's an ORM again? Object relational mapping. Data between resident. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I haven't had to work with this yet, I don't think. Because like I all of the data in the databases that I work with are pre-configured, and then we usually have a schema for them that's in Fabric or something. And then we reference that. Prisma and Drizzle. I've never heard of either of those. I'm not gonna lie. What's Prisma? Oh, it's a Postgres plus ORM for simple DB. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Oh, it just lets you create a database. I see. So you don't have to like have okay, I see. That makes it a hell of a lot easier, Jay, because then you're not like because I remember my friend telling me you could like write queries right within like your node. Like you do like db.query and then the query. But I'm assuming this makes it easier. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. This will be fun to get into because again, after we're done Odin projects, I'm gonna start building my own personal projects. Oh, the code has to be server rendered. That actually makes sense because the database is on the server, right? That makes sense because why would you do it wouldn't like you couldn't connect to the DB directly from the client, right? That would be silly. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Cool. All right, well, I think that'll do it for tonight. We accomplished a lot. I'm gonna finish off. I already mentioned it, but I'm gonna finish off Battleship next stream, and then we're gonna go on to advanced HTML CSS for a week, and then we're gonna get into React. It's gonna be a lot of fun. If you want to follow along on my journey, please, feel free to drop a subscription. I'd really appreciate it. And also, if you use Discord, I have a Discord channel or a Discord server to discuss all things web development, share your projects, etc. Link is in my bio. I'll also drop a link in the chat just in case anyone's watching and wants to join. So yeah, I'll be live tomorrow around 6:30-ish p.m. Eastern time. And yeah, I'll see you then. It was a pleasure. And thank you all for watching.